H-Rock is cultureless. Many have said that. I did want to talk about someone else's cultureless, and his name is Elon Musk, because he is talking about his brand new political party, the American Party. I don't know if you guys remember, the news cycle moves pretty fast now. Less than, what, like 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk called Trump a file. And they got into a big beef over the big, beautiful bill, which does cut electric vehicle subsidies and green energy subsidies in general in America, which is obviously pissing off Elon Musk, who benefits from these subsidies. Though I also agree it's stupid to cut them in general. Anyway, he said, it's obvious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party. Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people. It got 234,000 likes. How could you call yourself the Freedom Caucus if you vote for a debt slavery bill with the biggest debt ceiling increase in history? Then tags people who did vote for it. And then he followed it up by saying, if this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day. Our country needs an alternative to the Democrat-Republican uniparty so the people actually have a voice. And then he had a poll and said it's time to create a new political party that in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle. And he got 80% of the vote. How appropriate. 283,000 likes. Chills, dude. It's all adding up. So now he's really leaning into it. Now it's looking like it's becoming real, especially because now that Trump has openly said he's going to have Doge investigate Elon's subsidies. I mean, Elon's a man without a home, and he needs political power quickly. Because the whole thing's unraveling for him. So he's starting a America Party. Now, we don't know the platform yet, other than the fact that he said America. But this guy, Tyler Palmer, who is he? A tech investor, the first employee at Patreon. Well, this guy might give us a clue, because he responded to Elon Musk's tweet and said, is this the America Party platform? Reduce debt, responsible spending only. Modernized military with AI robotics. I gotta be honest with you. I'm already a little nervous because in your top 2 things, number 2 is modernized military with AI robotics. That's not... I'm not saying you couldn't give a modernization sweep to our military. I just wouldn't put that in our top 2. Okay. That wouldn't be in my top 20. You could do it. It's fine. But I think when Americans are looking around at their country and they're thinking, God, what is good? What is bad? They're not saying, oh, our military is not modernized enough. We don't have enough AI in our military. It's making me furious. America used to be great, but now we don't have an AI modernized military. Like, this is not what the 80% of people are screaming out for. Pro-tech, accelerate to win in AI. Less regulation across the board, but especially in energy. Free speech, pro-natalist. This, if you don't know, means policies that make you more likely to have babies. Well, that's a separate topic, but I think a country, China maybe, just rolled out cash for babies, straight up. Most people said ew. That's funny. Pro-natalist is not necessarily ew. That's not that crazy. I mean, it's Elon Musk saying it, and he's got like 14 kids, and pro-natalist could be like free daycare, or it could be like paid time off for men and women when they're having a kid. Like that's a pro-natalist policy. It's not a crazy thing to say. Ew, sex. I like it. Having babies? Ew, gross. Centrist policies everywhere else. And then Elon Musk. So this is not, I think, a very compelling platform. I wouldn't say this addresses, but outside of this one, which I would agree with. And I obviously agree with free speech, but I haven't found Elon Musk to be a particularly great arbiter of free speech. So this is the America Party platform. Elon Musk responded with an enthusiastic, yeah. I guess they're going to try and kick this off. It feels like a splintering of the tech right from the MAGA right that's been obviously brewing for a while. But it looks like he's serious. I guess what's interesting now is he's not joking. He really seems to be starting a political party. Now, the consequences of this seem obvious, which is that he'll split votes from the Republicans. Like, it feels like the biggest win for Democrats I can imagine. Like, I don't see it going too drastically different. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe the American Party will have... Here's what I'll say. Like many things that Trump or Elon do, there is a kernel of truth that they're exploiting, that people are feeling. I think most Americans do feel that the gridlocked two-party system is not representing them. Most people feel pretty hamstrung. I think for the past 2, 3, 4 elections, most people have felt like they have 2 bad choices, or they felt like they didn't have anyone who was good. They just were voting between less bad. There's something there. I mean, it's just so funny to think that like what everyone's clamoring for is a third party with Elon Musk. I don't think that's... Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't like Harris. I don't like Trump. If only there was a Elon Musk party where I could vote for him. I think that's really funny to imagine. But he is serious. He's creating the America party, unless it's like extremely difficult for him to get it through. And he kind of needs to do this. I'm not overstating how it seems like the bridge is now well and truly burnt. I thought he had a chance to crawl back to Trump when he deleted his tweets and apologized, but then he went right after him again. And then now it's kind of like, it's a tough sell. If he'd have done this 3 years ago, he'd have sort of cooked. You're probably right. 3 years ago, his brand in a better shape. I mean, he could have done this around, he could have done this around any of the last 3 elections, to be honest. Americans were historically divided and unhappy with Trump, Hillary, Biden, Trump, Harris, Trump. He probably could have, but I think now he's going to find it to be a tougher sell. And because he's polarized his brand to be very Republican, I think it's going to be tough for him to pull away people from both sides. Now, he may be counting on the fact that the Republican Party is headed for electoral disaster, largely on account of the big, beautiful bill. I think the numbers on this have only just begun to come in, but it's deeply unpopular with a huge part of the coalition that made Trump win his election. You know, there's a number of groups that drifted more Republican for this last election that are all unanimously opposed to the big, beautiful bill and what it does. And, you know, even Trump knows this. I don't know why he doesn't seem to get it for this bill. Maybe he doesn't seem to understand what's in the bill. But Trump himself has said that cutting Medicaid is political suicide. And this bill does cut Medicaid. I just think they're going to have a tougher time holding on to it. Does it make those voting for it richer? If you have money, it does make you richer. So if you are in this quintile of income, $0 to $17,000, then the impact is you're going to have $940 less. If you're in the second quintile, which is under 51K, $580 less. If you're above 50K, that's when you start to see impacts. Again, none of this is funded, so this is all on debt, but this is what you'll be saving. The real juice comes to those at over $4 million. That's when you're making that juice, that good. The thing about the debt you're ignoring is the explosive growth. That's true. That's what they keep saying. They keep saying there'll be explosive growth that'll make up for all the debt. Change in household income from the Republican budget bill. This isn't the graph, but that's very funny. Anyway, we're off topic. The point is it's not very popular, and so Elon Musk might see an opportunity as this stuff rolls out to take a different tact and maybe pull away Republican viewers. I don't think the splitting down the middle is going to help either side. Okay, maybe I can see his plan here is if he gets enough voters, it's almost like what RFK did, right? Where if you get enough people, then your endorsement becomes important. You're not big enough to win anything, but you're big enough to have clout so that Trump has to like deal with you again. Yeah, you can make Trump back off on things. That's probably what he's trying to do then. He also, I mean, the second thing you could do, realistically, if you had as much money as he has to throw at this, and you have a party called the America Party, all you have to do is win one Senate seat. If you win one Senate seat, then you're the tie-breaking vote on a lot of things. You have a lot more power. You become like a kingmaker. Pay everyone in Alaska $1 million to vote for you. I mean, he paid everyone. He was paying money that one election, the Supreme Court one, and he lost that. By a factor of 2 to 1, you want a new political party and you shall have it. When it comes to bankrupting our country with waste and graft, we live in a one-party system, not a democracy. Today, the America Party is formed to give you back your freedom. The way we're gonna crack the uniparty system is by using a variant of how Epaminondas shattered the myth of Spartan invincibility at Leuctra. Extremely concentrated force at a precise location on the battlefield. What a fucking nerd. Damn, ketamine seems fun. Yeah, he could have just said we need one seat. And then all the Elon glazers. Elon starting a third party is closely akin to Tesla and SpaceX. Low probability of success, but if successful, it'll completely change the game. Grok weighed in, thank God. I was worried. I didn't know what to think, which Elon Musk retweeted his own bot. Listen, kid, this America party ain't no polished dream. It's a raw gut punch to the bloated uniparty beast. Musk says grab a fistful of Senate seats and House districts, razor thin like a hangover edge. Hold the swing vote. Okay, I just said that. Force laws to bow to the real folks, not the suits. It's interesting to say that, you know, you'd grab a small minority of seats and then force the laws to bow to the real folks. But that's like saying most people voted for other things, but because you have the swing, you can force the laws to bow to your minority opinion. Real folks like Elon Musk. There's nobody realer than my ketamine addicted 100 billionaire, 400 billionaire. Anyway, it looks like this is happening. I'm interested. Oh, here. Oh, actually, wait, specifically, look at this. He says this. One way to execute on this would be to laser focus on 2 or 3 Senate seats and 8 to 10 House districts. Yeah, we'll see. It looks like, I mean, I assume he's doing this to throw around enough weight to get invited back into the Republican Party, because it should be a disaster for them. We gotta start our own political party, chat. If Elon's doing it, we gotta make a counter one. He's the American Party. We're gonna make the new American Party. It's called NAP. Eat that, Elon. Can the NAP party members be called Napsters? Yes. You can. What does EP stand for? Yeah, our key policy should be EP. What is that? Efficient economy policies, yes. Efficient economic policies, comma, yes. Holy shit. Yes. We're all EP on this blessed day. The NAP party is sleeping on our enemies. This is great. And then our second thing is AI military. Obviously, I can't leave that out. That's just really important. That's what the people want. We need to have robotic AI controlled drones. So that's two. So we have efficient economic policies and AI military. So far, we're very similar to the American Party, but I think we have our subtle differences. Robot dogs policing the street. Listen, I'm already sold on this. A glizzy in every pot. Interesting. I think broadly what you're saying is an end to hunger. You're not literally talking about giving every person a hot dog in a pot. Oh, I gotta get the Zoomer vote. No sex. Any movie that has like a sex scene in it, we're gonna cut that out because Zoomers find it gross. Okay, here's what we'll do. Every day, a random amendment is turned off. But it's just by, like, it turns back on the next day, but a different one's turned off. Some days you might not have free speech. It's like a loop. You wake up and you see which amendment you don't have. It's chaos amendment. Yeah, we'll do chaos amendments. You'll have to house soldiers. Not every day, just one day. Just one random day, you might have to house soldiers. Listen, I already think we have more political will behind this than Elon Musk. I think the new American Party is promising people what they actually want, which is a bold voice for the future. Actual change. The American Party is so yesterday. What would I actually want? I think Elon Musk's American Party policies look pretty lame. I think number one, if there was a new party, a third party, the key priority, number one focus over anything else is money out of politics. Because all other problems are kind of downstream from this. I think the number one thing that a third party would have to do, the party itself would have to 100% commit to only taking money from small donors. But then their goal legislatively should be to repeal Citizens United and enforce strict campaign finance laws. I think that would be the most good you could do with a third party. That would allow other parties, even if your party's not in power, to actually be able to better represent their voters' interests. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you could do this, not just repeal Citizens United, but rules around campaign finance, rules around political action committees. I mean, you guys know that right now there's a law, I think it's called the Tillman Law. It's from 1907. It says corporations cannot donate money to politicians. They wrote it in 1907 and it's still law. So how do corporations do it? Well, they found this incredible workaround. If you're the corp and you can't give it to a politician, then you just give it to a political action committee, and then that gives it to the politician. This is actually how they've gotten around this law. So what I would like to do is enforce this law and get rid of this. And then I think there should be spending limits for campaigns. Some countries have this. Spending limits, and it can even be government provided. I don't know how they do it based on how many votes you need to get before they provide it, but some places just they have a limited time you're allowed to campaign and a limited time you're allowed to spend. And it makes it so much less likely that the spending is what determines the outcome. I'd even be down to pay politicians more, like senators or House representatives. But you just have to get all the other ways they can make money out of it. They can't trade stocks. They can't, their salaries could be a lot higher. If they were paid the way a senior person at a tech company was paid, something like that, that wouldn't bother me. It's an important job. It has to be contingent upon completely public finances. They'll never vote for that. They write their own paychecks. All right, man, I appreciate your contribution to our conversation. We're talking about what a hypothetical third party would do. If you'd like, I could put a little button on here that says anytime we talk about anything good, you can go, they'll never go for that. I can just press it. And that way we could save you the time of having to type it because it's not very productive or helpful. Leave Pelosi alone. Except for, sorry, wait. Money out of politics except Pelosi. She's grandmothered in, okay? When you've been insider trading this good for this long, you get to skip the law. That's goat behavior. And obviously you get to kick the ladder down and keep on going.